litres of water. It's your new water tank. You don't like, what is it? Get it. What is it? Water tank's in. What I'm got to figure out is this inlet pipe. So I've just pre-mounted the tank to have a look. What I plan to do is to bring this down and in that way, like an S shape, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the water tank needs to be mounted to there for the tank. So this part here, which is my 40mm water inlet point, that needs to go there. It needs to go into there, so then the water pipe can come down and in, if that makes sense. Let's do that from there. So imagine the water pipe's coming in here, that's going to go into there. This is my valve, it's going to go there. And then I've got my fuel sender, and I've got to try and get this as close away from this edge over to here so I can get it fitted. That's my water sender, my level sender. That will be fixed into my Victron servo and so on. So what I've got is a couple of step drills. I've got my vernier so I can measure the hole sizes of what I need to drill. So a step drill, another step drill, vernier, measure the sizes. I've got some PTFE tape and so on and so on. There's all my things, so that's what I need to do. So that's the water sender in, so I can still access that. That is that. Down the bottom there. So hopefully that will keep it away from touching the inside of the water tank, and let me know how much water I've got in the tank. So now let's cut some more holes. So the next what I'm going to fit next is the breather pipe. So I'm literally going to get the vernier and measure this distance to find what hole, but that's roughly going to be fitted there as the breather. So we will get that done as well. What's next? So I've just drilled that hole. That's just the right size to get this in. Now it's a case of refitting this underneath. That's your breather pipe that's going to go to the filler point, which is already on the side of the van. So if you know these Fiamma water tank filler points, I have a little breather pipe again. So I'm just going to come off that with a little breather pipe, overflow pipe or whatever, onto there. So that's in there. One more to go. So I have my water level sensor that will fit into my servo, and you'll need to extend the wires. If anyone's done this before, let me know what clips, what I need to like crimp on to be able to get into the servo. There's my breather area. That's also my secondary overflow, which is going to go back towards the filler point, and that's my water inlet all in. Now just to mount that into the van. So there is the water tank. I have to make a little raised bed here to go underneath the tank because it doesn't quite sit properly because of the wheel arch, but it is as close to the board as possible, but it's got that raised area. Anyway, diversing. That is the water tank in. You can see like the water inlet pipe is now fixed back into there. I just need to get a breather pipe for here. My original one is too small for that, but I've still got this breather here, and I've obviously got my water level sensor here, which will eventually wire into the servo over there along there. Now the next thing I'm going to have to configure is I've got to get piping from here somewhere up across and then over into that corner for the pump and accumulator and all that sort of stuff, or I do it down here. I haven't figured that part out, but that's the water tank in. So that's 100 litres. That's solid, that isn't going anywhere, and once I get those fixings sorted out, that is going to be happily in there. So I'm very happy with that, and the garage is looking a million times better than it used to. So tomorrow the van goes in. This is happening. It's having its 220 amp alternator fitted into the van, so that will allow me to run the 2 DCs that I did at the weekend on full power as I'm driving. Fingers crossed for that. And at the same time tomorrow we're having a water pump and timing belt fitted into the van as well, but that is looking a million times better. Massive jig around with space and all that sort of stuff. One, it allowed me to reconfigure all my van electrics, which are now in. Two, it allowed me to put the 50 litre fridge freezer, or I'm using it as a freezer compartment, 50 litres of freezer compartment. As I am no longer gas, I am all electric, and I needed another source of water, so I've got a 100 litre water tank, which I'll eventually have plumbed to my sink in the front of the van, where that will be filled up via my water fill-up pipe, which was originally there, and that's why I wanted to utilise that space as well. So very, very happy with how things have progressed. 100 litres of water in, well, not 100 litres of water, 100 litres of water tank in, all fitted in, all the accessories, like I said, all plumbed in, water level sensor so I can connect to my servo and monitor the levels of my water tank from there. Inlet is in, breather pipe I just need to redo, and obviously I then need to figure out the plumbing to get to the front and to accommodate the water pump and the accumulator and all that sort of stuff. Then that's left in the garage is I've got to reconnect all the lighting, and I am possibly looking somewhere, I don't know where I can fit a switch, isolation switch for the pump and a switch for the lights. So whether I do that in here or I do that inside, which will probably be my preferred option inside the van, I don't know yet, but I'll let you know. But there we go, that's a water tank in, just the plumbing to come next on another video soon. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye. Hello, and so I'm just going to add this part to the video because obviously over the previous couple of videos you've seen me fit the 2 Orion XS's into the van. I've run all the cabling through, they're both wired in and so on and so on, and then I was waiting for the alternator to be fitted to the van as well. So, and I'll leave a link for where I purchased the alternator, and all I'll say is that on that is if you're interested in upgrading, ring them, give them your vehicle registration and details, and then they'll search for the best one for you, like I did, by speaking to them direct. Anyway, I've had my alternator fitted. That was last Wednesday. Today is now Monday. I've had the weekend. I took a road trip to a friend's wedding up Redcar, Middlesbrough way, and it was a pretty sunny weekend. So I'm just going to read through some of the power, and I'll leave a screenshot as well, whether it's up here or up here, I don't really care, just to give you an idea. So with both Victron DC's XS's running, each of them were pulling 48.1 amps. So these are capable of pulling 50 amps. Each one was pulling 48.1 amps with 213 watts of solar that I was getting at the time as well. And with everything, all the other stuff that's switched on in the van, I was generating 104.29 amps with the 2 Orion XS's. Now, bearing in mind, one of the things, obviously in winter, you're not going to get as decent a solar as like 213 watts like I was getting. However, around 48 amps per Orion XS is pretty good going. And imagine I've got 600 amps of lithium fitted into the van, so to be able to almost pull 100 amps while driving is going to be an absolute game changer. And I just wanted to share that with everybody as well, so they can understand the type of power that they can produce. But I will say, please only do this if you have a big enough alternator, or an upgrade your alternator to be able to do it. The one thing I am looking at doing is just as a safety precaution, because in summer I'm going to turn one off and only use the one, because if I'm getting a lot of sun, I don't really need 2 Orions to be draining off the engine, the alternator. But what I am going to do is ramp them down just a little bit, so they're not pulling 50 amps, but they'll pull around, say, 40 amps each, which 80 amps is more than enough power to go in, and that will allow me in winter one, drive shorter distances but be able to generate more power. That'll be better for Archie, less fuel for driving, and so on and so on, but give me enough power to throw back into the 600 amps of lithium to stay off-grid for longer, because like I said, I am now electric cooking and all that sort of stuff. I'm no longer gas. So that's my review of the Orion XSs and the output they're giving to me. So I am pretty happy with how I wired it all in, how they're performing, and what sort of power I can generate back into my own lithium batteries. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. Leave me a comment what you think, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video at some stage, probably next week, maybe, we never know. See you later. Bye bye.